We are going to go ahead and get started. As we do so, I want to let you know that we are going to be recording this session. We will make it available for people who could not be here. And if you'd enjoyed it so much the first time and you feel like watching it multiple times, we understand. These Zoom meetings get a lot of that, requests for viewing afterwards. Thank you for being here. And with that, Mr. Arias, would you press record? Good evening, everybody. My name is Joseph Clevenger. I'm the proud principal here at Rancho Buena Vista High School. Thank you for joining us this evening for Coffee with the Principal. Sean bienvenidos a todos. Soy el director de Rancho Buena Vista High School, el señor Clevenger, y gracias por venir. We are going to get started, but before we do so, we are going to start our translation. So I'd like to introduce the wonderful Mrs. Alma Cacho. Alma, do you want to say good evening?
Buenas tardes a todos y bienvenidos a esta junta cafecito con el director. Yo soy la que les voy a interpretar la junta el día de hoy. Bienvenidos.
Perfect. And Alma, if you'd be willing to walk them through the process of...
En un momento verán en su pantalla, en la parte inferior, un icono que parece como globo terráqueo. Por favor, presionen el icono en cuanto lo vean y seleccionen el idioma español y todo será interpretado en español.
Perfect. And if you're okay, let's get that started now. Okay. Once again, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our second Coffee with the Principal of the year. I am the proud principal here at RBV. I am Mr. Clevenger, and I brought with me an all-star lineup today. So I'd like to take a couple of minutes and have them each introduce themselves. Panelists, I'll call out your first name. I'll call it your name, and if you would just introduce yourselves, what you do here at Rancho Buena Vista High School, and probably most importantly, your favorite band of all time. So I will set the stage with both my credentials and the proper answer to that question. Hello, Joseph Clevenger, principal here at Rancho Buena Vista. Interestingly enough, I was actually also a student here at Rancho Buena Vista. About 24 years ago, I was in the exact same spot that our freshman class is in. So I'm really excited to be back here for another year at the ranch. I love this school. I love this staff. I love these students. And in case you're wondering, favorite band of all time, no question, Boys to Men. Mr. Arias.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mr. Arias. I'm a teacher. I teach AP Human Geography, and I also teach IB History of the Americas. So it's really great to see freshmen as they come to RBV and to see them as they end their journey. And my favorite band, I'm going to go with Weezer.
Solid choice. I mean, almost to the level of Boys to Men, but well done. Well done. Mr. Berger. We're going to come back to Mr. Berger. The one and only.
I got it. Yeah.
Mr. Berger, you're up.
All right, here we go. Yeah, it's embarrassing, especially for what I'm about to say. I'm Mr. Berger, and I've been at Rancho for 27 years, since '94. I teach English. I've taught all the grades. I've taught yearbook, newspaper, and creative writing. And for a long time, I helped out with technology, which clearly I couldn't figure out a simple flip on the microphone. Clearly, the greatest band of all time is none other than the Fab Four, the Beatles.
Okay. I mean, there were four in Boys to Men. I just want to point that out. Great to have you here, sir. Ms. Correo.
Hi, I'm Ms. Correo. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Rancho Buena Vista High School. I oversee the Foreign Language Department, the Special Education Department, Visual and Performing Arts, as well as Career Technical Education. And my favorite band, gosh, I think Mr. Berger took mine because you can't beat the Beatles, but I'm going to go say the Supremes.
Okay.
So old school.
Well done. Thank you for being here. Mr. Patterson.
Hello, everybody. I'm Damon Patterson. I'm an assistant principal here at Rancho Buena Vista High School. It is my first year here as an assistant principal. I actually started my teaching career here several years ago as a student teacher and a first-year teacher as well. So I'm really excited to be back I'll be working with the math, science, and PE departments, working a lot with the kids with last names GR through O. And it's a very tough choice. Been racking my brain the whole time. I'm gonna go with the Killers for best band.
Okay, okay, very good. Mrs. Hawkins.
I knew you were going to do that right when I changed my band.
Hi,
I am Stephanie Hawkins. I have been, this is going to be my 7th year at Rancho. I teach English 9 honors and English 11. And this year I have taken on the role of yearbook advisor as well. I can't remember if there was a question in between what I do and what my band is. So I'm going to go with the band, and I'm going to break the rules, because some rules it's okay to break. For me, it's kind of a toss-up between, I think my favorites are Matchbox 20 and Bad Religion.
Okay, both solid choices. We'll let that slide. Thank you. Thank you. This is Gary Simpson.
Hello, I'm Elsie Gary Simpson. I am a first-year assistant principal here at Rancho, and for the last 17 years, I have been with the school district. The last 15, I've had the honor of being in the social studies department and loved every minute of it. So it is so special that I get to remain here in this different position, and I'm looking forward to it. The best band ever is Earth, Wind, and Fire.
We'll take it. We'll take it. And last but certainly not least, someone who's very special to this school and also very special to me, Miss Joanna Melliker.
Hi, everyone. Joanna Melliker. I am the awesome administrative assistant to the proud principal of RBV, and my favorite band is Van Halen.
Okay. Okay. Well, all the parents and students who are joining us this evening, I think it's clear we have very dedicated and excited staff here who also have exceptional taste in music. And with that, my friends, let's go ahead and get started. Mr. Arias, you want to pull up the slides? Here we go. Here's a quick overview of what we're going to cover tonight. Parents, as we go through this, I want to make it clear. We're going to talk about these points, and then we're going to ask that if you have questions specific to what we discussed, please drop them in chat. We want to make sure that this is an opportunity to have back and forth and answer questions. We are going to keep things moving. If the questions that come across are similar to the ones that we've already answered, please know we'll be answering emails and be available to take phone calls at school anytime. So just a practice session. If you look down at the bottom of your screen, you're going to see a little button that says chat. If you could just quickly click on the chat and just send a nice hello message or good evening, tell us who your student is. Go ahead and just drop a message in chat real quick to make sure it's working. And there it goes. That's what we needed to see. Now, the entire panel on this side of the webinar can see those, and we will do everything we can to make sure we take the time to answer these questions. You are a critical part of the school. Students, absolutely. Parents, absolutely. We are here to try to support you. So welcome and thank you for being here. And that's the way this evening is going to work. So let's go ahead and dive in. I wanted to lay some ground, sort of foundational level information as we start this, okay? A couple of things that are super important for everybody here to know. First thing is, we begin school on Tuesday. We have one more day of professional development for our teachers. They've been here all week. They have been working tirelessly and doing amazing things. We are going to begin after a 3-day weekend on Tuesday, September 8th. Now, it's important that you know the first 6 weeks of this school year for all students will be online. Just one more time. We begin school Tuesday, and the first 6 weeks will be online. We promise we are ready, and we're going to walk you through how that is going to roll out. And I am very comfortable and confident with our plan, and we're going to share that with you momentarily. The third point I want to share with you, the student schedules will be released soon. We've had a couple of delays, and I'll talk about those shortly. The moment they are ready, I will send a message to you, the parents, and to you, the students, letting you know they're ready for you to view. The last thing I wanted to share as we start this, we have an outstanding communication system in place between our website and our social media and our weekly updates from the principal. We make sure that our parents are in the loop. Parents, I hope you take advantage of these things. If you're not following us on Instagram or Twitter, Stephanie, did I say both of those right? Yeah, I'm still a work in progress on social media. We leverage this to communicate with our parents and our students. Parents, it works. We make sure we have accurate and breaking news up there. We make sure to highlight and celebrate students and point out great things happening around campus. If you don't have those social media links, please go ahead and consider creating one. We also have a new, I believe it's called Facebook. Stephanie, confirmation? Yes, we have a Facebook page, which we are going to start pushing information out to very, very soon. So please look for that as well. Also, we have our website. That is a constant source for good information. Mr. Arias? I want to start with a critical part of the year, and that is taking the first step to a successful year. And that's literally the first step. I have 3 guests with us this evening that are going to speak to the steps that every student is going to take on day 1 to get to their classes. There's some complexities here. This actually requires quite a few things to work all together. We're ready. Parents, students, we're ready. So I'm going to have Mrs. Hawkins, Mr. Berger, and Mr. Arias walk you through this and also let you know where this information is available. This is not a secret. It's been out there for weeks, and we're going to make sure that every student and every parent has access.
Mr. Berger, we nominated you to go first.
Excellent. I heard my phone go off. I figured that was it, so I didn't pick it up. So, all right. So day 1, on Tuesday, students are going to wake up in the morning, get dressed, comb their hair, eat some breakfast, and be ready. They're going to go to their computers, and they're going to go to their Google Calendar. So step 1, they're going to log in with their student ID, their 9-digit ID, and their password. And from there, once they get into their Chromebook, or if you're using a personal computer at home, again, we recommend you use Chrome. You click up on there as it says on step 2. It's kind of funny. I'm pointing at the screen like you're following along over my shoulder. So I'll stop that.
Mr. Berger,
yes.
Why is it so important that they log in with their student ID?
Right, because, good question. If they have their personal Google account and they're on their personal calendar, it will not show up. Now, many of us that may be a little tech savvy or not, you've logged in to Google Chrome with both of your accounts and you toggle back and forth. Additionally, if you have multiple calendars, those may be on or off. So you want to make sure to have the cleanest, easiest, straightforward experience in logging into their classes to make sure that they are using their student ID VUSD.org email.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much. Who's on step 2?
That's me. Okay, so step 2, once they're logged into their school Google accounts, you're going to double check and make sure that they are using the Chrome browser for their internet. And I suppose in a way, steps 1 and 2 kind of overlap each other because you can't you can't log into your account unless you're on an internet window, unless you're using a Chromebook. But the point that we're making here is that the Chrome browser is going to work the most seamlessly with their Google accounts. And because VUSD is a Google district, we use a lot of different Google apps, and that will continue even virtually. This is the way that you will find the fewest glitches. The good news here is that if your student has, if your student has checked out a device from us, they don't have a choice but to use Chrome because that's the default browser on the Chromebook. So then that's trouble-free for you.
Thank you very much. JR.
And for step 3, we want to make sure that the students are using the week view when they're accessing their calendar. When it's in the week view, they'll be able to see, similar to what it looks like in the next step in step 4, the invitations for each of the students' Zoom link invitations will be visible. And then from there, in step 4, that's where they will be able to click and access the Zoom sessions for the first day of school.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, Mr. Clevenger, there were a couple of people asking in the chat if their students know how to log in. If your students are returning to VUSD from a previous school year, they know what they're doing, and they just need to go to Cloud Connect and log in, or as soon as they open their Chromebook, they'll be prompted to enter their information.
Excellent. If for some reason your student has forgotten, or you might be new to the district, the easiest way to do is just shoot off an email well, you can send it directly to me. You can send it to anyone on the admin team, and we will immediately take care of getting you lined up with the right people to get them a new password, or if they need to change their password because they forgot. We have a really quick and easy process. Just shoot us an email or go ahead and call the school. It's easier through email, but if you call the school, we'll take care of you that way as well. Okay, step 4, just real quick. You want to talk about that?
So
I'm not really sure we assigned that, but we can.
I think JR hit it, but JR, why don't you do it again?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So when they're in the week view, they'll be these invitations will be in their calendar view, and from there they just need to click on the link, and it will take them to their at the designated times, and they will be able to access their classes.
Perfect. And it's that easy. If they can get into Google, into the calendar feature, it's right there. So we have identified some of the most common bumps in the road, and these are clearly listed on this document as well as this slide. If you're interested in seeing this document, there's 2 ways you can do it. First of all, it is in the Rancho Roundup that was sent home to you yesterday. Also, we'll be posting the link to this entire presentation in the chat as we wrap up this presentation. So just know we are here. We will walk through these in greater detail if you need it. If there are any questions, now would be the time to drop them in chat regarding the first day. Perfect, great question. The question is, if there are IT issues on the first day, who should the students contact? And it's right here on this page. There's a couple things they can control and check. If it's not working, simply call the school. We will have these exact same solutions ready to walk you through, and we'll do everything we can. Yes, and do they need to log in at 8:30 a.m.? We will walk through the bell schedule, Mrs. Judy. But yeah, for most students, 8:30 a.m. is their login time. Thank you for asking. All right, Mr. Arias. Parents, as you know, we recently, I feel, made a very wise move in delaying the start of the school year. With so many unknowns, the fact that we had additional time to prepare for the launch of the school year, I feel was extremely valuable. That has had an impact on the overall annual school calendar. Again, I sent this to you yesterday in the Rancho Roundup. Please refer to that for your own PDF copy. This is one of those things I would recommend printing and sticking on the refrigerator. It comes in handy. A couple of quick notes. We pushed back the start of the year by 3 weeks. We have made some changes during the school year to make sure that we still have a summer at the end of this. A couple of those highlights real quick. Thanksgiving is no longer 5 days. It is down to 3 days. So look in November for those details on this calendar. And also, I want to point out that the first semester typically would end before our winter or Christmas break. That has changed. Our finals and the end of the semester will now take place in January, and you will see that reflected in the January portion of this calendar. Again, this calendar was sent to you yesterday in the Rancho Roundup, and we'll also attach it in this presentation at the end of it. Thank you. Mr. Arias.
All right, I think this one is me as well. So on the first week of school, although we have voted in a rotating block bell schedule, on the first week of school, I think I said day earlier, my mistake, we are going to stick with the same calendar, the same bell schedule each of those days. And there are a variety of reasons for this. One of those is because we like to get the students acquainted with each of their classes, and this particular schedule gives them periods 1 through 6 each day. The most important part of teaching and learning is setting up the relationship and making the connections that are foundational. And without doing that, it is hard for both the teacher and the student to have a really successful and enriching experience. So we've really put the bulk of our focus in the first week in making those connections with our students, particularly this year when it's so much harder to do when we're not in person. And also giving them, you'll notice on here, our Canvas crash course, giving them some instruction on how to work Canvas. Many of our kids will have not seen it before, and we want to make sure that they don't get lost, that it's not confusing to them, that they know exactly what it is that they need to do in order to be successful students.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And we have with us this evening Mr. Berger, who actually has designed and put together the Canvas crash course. Mr. Berger, just a quick overview, please.
Absolutely. So Crash Course is a video series that, we've subtitled it, How to Be a Successful Online Student. So as Ms. Hawkins mentioned, it's going to cover Canvas, the learning management system. It will cover Zoom, our virtual classroom, the video conferencing. And we have another topic of videos, another series called Healthy Habits that deal with, setting goals, finding a place to be, making sure we're communicating, things like that. And so each day, starting on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the following Monday for 4 days, periods 2 through 5, every day they will get a short video. The videos range from, a minute to 5 minutes at the most, that cover all of these topics so that we're not just throwing them all at them at once. It is important to note that we will also post these on the school website so that if parents want to take a look and see what's being presented, kids can go back to it, and they'll probably, most of them will be published even before they even necessarily get to Friday. So you could even do a preview. One last note, you could probably Google, how do you do this in Canvas? How do you do this in Zoom? Healthy habits for whatever, being online, and you're going to find a ton of videos. At RBV, we've intentionally have RBV teachers, as well as some students, participating in the creation of these videos, because as Ms. Hawkins was talking about, making relationships with kids and being able to connect is important to us.
Excellent. Wonderful job both in creating this and that explanation. Mr. Arias, can we go back to our Brady Bunch view real quick? Parents, I want you to know that the goal of this crash course is to make sure that all 2,000 plus students at RBV have a solid understanding of what they need to do to be successful. We are walking into a year that is unlike anything any of us have experienced, and our students are walking into this, and this counts. Their grades count. This counts towards both their future in high school and after. I want you to know we've spent significant time designing this to make sure that every single RBV student isn't walking into to a situation where they can't succeed. So please know that that was the idea behind creating this. You will have access to all of the videos. Your students will have access to all the videos. And we will make sure that we take time during the school day, during the first few days, to give it to students in a small incremental manner to where they can process it and also apply it. So just know we're on this. We're intentional about what we're doing the first week, and just want you to know we plan to take care of them. Okay. All right, Mr. Arias, let's go back to the other view. Okay, let's jump to the other bell schedule. Parents, deep breath. I promise you, there is a lot of really good, and I want to explain it to you. At first glance, this one might be a little bit overwhelming. I want to tell you, when I pushed this out the first time, my thought was, I need to get this out to parents because there's got to be a lot of people wondering about this. I feel that I pushed it out a little bit prematurely in that I did not send it with a thorough enough explanation. So I wanted to walk you through this. What we are implementing this year is called a rotating block schedule. Now, I want to walk through the why before we walk through the details of what actually takes place during a block schedule. So I believe most of us are familiar with block schedule. What a block schedule does is it takes the 6 periods that a student has and it basically cuts that in half, and we would see students every other day. In this virtual world that we are starting the year in, we are doing something a little bit different. It's called a rotating block schedule, and this will allow us to see our students first and foremost 4 times per week. In a rotating block schedule, in a regular block schedule, you would see students 2 to 3 times per week. And I want to make sure you understand this. Our teachers feel very strongly that one of the keys to making sure our students are successful is making sure they have access to the experts who are there to guide them and teach them. We have some great supports in addition to the class time, but 4 days a week, we are planning on our students seeing our teachers, our students seeing their peers, our students interacting and collaborating with their peers, and also interacting with their teacher. This is a really important part of Rancho Buena Vista's philosophy in teaching. And we worked closely with our entire faculty, our entire teaching staff to design this one. So a couple other pieces that I wanted to share. We also tried to design something that honored the process of parents choosing their students' learning model for this year. Now, as most of you know, actually, I'm sure all of you know, we're offering basically 2 learning models. The first one is fully virtual, where students are not on site. They will be learning from home in a virtual online manner. The second is referred to as classic, and classic means they're on-site learning. Now again, the first 6 weeks, everybody's virtual, but when the county allows us or tells us it's time and our district decides it's time, we will be starting students back on campus. The schedule that we built will take care of both of those learning models, and this is essential because we have teachers who are teaching in both the classic and the virtual model. That means that we need one schedule to take care of both learning models. Okay, that was a brief overview. Are there questions regarding the block schedule? Go ahead and type them in the chat now. Great question. So Brooke, great question. Brooke asked, I chose the classic learning model, but my counselor today told me that one of my classes I chose is virtual all semester. We have been working really hard to build a master schedule that takes care of all students and honors what they want to take. I will talk about this in a little more detail in a moment, but in a master schedule, we don't always have a perfect distribution of classes and number of students who want to take it. There's no guarantee that there are 34 students in every single class. And that means that sometimes we have what we call singletons. A singleton, and this is to Brooke's question, means that we offer one section of that class. Parents and students, when we only have one section and we have 2 learning models, this creates a unique challenge. One of the ways we're working around this is that we are going to provide opportunity for students who have singleton classes. If they chose classic and the class is offered in virtual, we're going to allow them to go ahead and participate in that class. And what that will look like, Brooke, is that the student will stay at school, will be set up in a place with supervision of a teacher, and will be taking part in the class from a computer at school. So they will be able to take the class in the classic manner, even if the class is offered online. Now, if that is not something that works for you, we will address that one, but it is the best way we can still try to provide the maximum number of options to students and still make sure that we take care of the master schedule the way we need to build it. I have a question here, and it says, what happened to the longer classes for block schedule? It allows for direct instruction and time for independent work. Students taking AP classes may be overwhelmed, and we know teachers will be teaching every second that they can. These are great questions. We looked at this closely, and we really analyzed where we think we get the most production. We do feel like we have experts who are capable and professional, and that we would like to maximize the time our students have with their teachers. Now, I do want to talk about what the class period itself looks like. The idea of having 75 minutes straight of lecture would be absolutely overwhelming. Mr. Arias, do you want to comment on that section?
So, and by no means do we plan on directly talking to students for 75 full minutes. We're trying to keep it as close to what it would be as if they were in person with some direct instruction, but also time for group activities. But also they'll have time within those minutes to work on their assignments as well.
Outstanding. The other part of that question was having odd and even days might allow for grace and empathy for students and families who might be going through a lot during these trying times. Brady Bunch time. Parents, we know that the challenges that we saw in the spring have not gone away. We know that there are going to be unique needs and circumstances, and I want you to know this. RBV and all of the staff here stand ready to take care of those things. We pride ourselves in how we take care of each other and our students and our families and our community. When those moments come up, I plead with you, just communicate with us. We are not here to run students ragged and into the ground. We're here to ensure that they continue to progress and move towards their goals and prepare for their futures. We take that seriously. And if we have a situation where we need to modify or work with families, we do that all the time. Mrs. Gary Simpson, do you want to sort of speak to that?
Which point?
Just how we plan on supporting students throughout this process.
Well, the students are going to be supported through the process by our counselors. Our counselors are so readily available that they will be supporting the students, and we will have a opportunity for students and parents to be able to communicate with the school so we can do what's best for all students. And so I think our front office is ready to go, and we will be responding immediately to what the needs are. It won't be, if it's 2-3 days, if it's a couple days later, that's not happening. We pride ourselves in immediate response within 24 hours.
Thank you much. Thank you much. A couple of questions about honors courses, AP and IB. This is important. We lost 3 weeks from our traditional start time. So we've pushed back our school calendar 3 weeks. For those who aren't aware of honors and AP, AP and IB, these are special honors courses which allow students to earn college credit during high school. The way we earn those credits is our students take tests or exams towards the end of the year. Now, while our calendar was pushed back 3 weeks, the AP and IB tests actually didn't move at all. So we are absolutely going to leverage the time we have with our students to make sure that we're ready for those. And there's no school out there that does the IB program, which is the most prestigious honors programs in schools like RBV. Literally, nobody else out there. I'll go on my bragging rant about our IB program later. So there's that. Welcome, everybody. We're gonna get this one. We just had a student who in the chat said they're new to RBV. You're in good hands. So welcome. Okay. As far as what classes are available where, this is a question that we're definitely going to want to refer to their counselor. We built schedules based off student course requests. If there's anything you want to change about your schedule, the easiest way to do it is to communicate with your counselor, or when we release the schedules, We will also send out a link that allows students to request changes to their schedules. Now, I need to warn you, our master schedule is tight this year. So we will make sure that we do everything we can to accommodate. We will make sure we get what you need. We may not be able to honor every request. Sometimes electives fill up. Sometimes we can't make changes happen, but we take care of our students and we'll do everything we can. Great question. Will AP and IB teachers make up these lost 3 weeks in the time with assigning more homework? There will be homework for classes. AP and IB already have an increased workload. What we need to cover in those AP and IB classes has not changed significantly. We do not plan on solving our problems by simply assigning more homework. We've done this week with our departments. The first thing we did is we've identified what we call our essential or most important standards. And we are going to try to ensure that we prepare our students for what we know is coming. In the virtual model, we do have less time with students. We do recognize we're in a whole new learning atmosphere and environment. We can't simply plow forward with what we've done the exact same way we have in the past. We know we have to adapt, and we have to be willing to be flexible and adjust to our students as we get this. As I said early on, we don't necessarily have a roadmap or a lot of examples on how to start a school and run a school in pandemic mode. We are going to do everything we can to make sure we're sensitive. And quite frankly, if we plan on taking the course selections through the end of the semester. I'm sorry, the learning model selections through the end of the semester. We recognize that in January, things could look very different, and we will make sure that we are able to address and take care of students. In the second semester, if things have changed, we will make sure that option is there for parents and students. Yeah. Okay. Questions about the master schedule? There might be a few. Send them. How will PE be handled? PE is actually going to be run in both virtual and classic models. We are still going to cover those standards. It will look different than it has in the past. Our PE department is ready for that, and you'll hear about that the first week of school. Yes, a question from Sabrina. When students see schedule, will they see a notation if their classes are virtual or classic? The answer is yes. You will see it clearly delineated if it is a classic or virtual course. If you are a new student who just transferred here from, say, Idaho, first of all, welcome. We are so grateful you're here. You're going to love it here at RBV. Please reach out to our office tomorrow. Please give us a call, and we will make sure you have all those answers right away. Dance is also included. Dance, band, drama, these are being offered in sort of a blend. Some are virtual, some are classic. As you can imagine, these are going to look very different in a virtual world than they have historically. We're ready. We're going to make sure our students get what they need in whatever model that is. A question from Marie about specific IB classes. Would you do me a favor and drop us a line tomorrow or shoot me an email? I'll make sure we take care of that. Great question coming. Dual enrollment, it is still going strong. Dual enrollment is still something we're offering. We are working with Palomar Community College. Dual enrollment is amazing. It gets students college credit and it actually gets them double high school credit. It's a great way to get ahead in life in a couple of ways. We are still running those. If you would like to take a dual enrollment class, we do have availability. We don't offer all classes that we offer each semester. Please reach out to your counselor or shoot us an email or call the school. We'll get you that answer. What is happening with special ed classes? Ms. Correo,
Yes.
you want to quickly kind of oversee that? And just with, I want to just tell parents, great question. There may be some uniqueness to this. So Christine, you want to speak to that?
Sure. So our special ed classes, they're still going to be in their classes. They're still going to have case managers. The case managers just recently got their caseloads, and so they'll be reaching out to students to introduce themselves soon. The case managers will be working with their instructional aide to provide the specialized academic support in the classroom setting. So they'll be doing just like they did in a classic setting, in a virtual setting. They'll be pushing into the virtual classrooms to provide additional support to the students. If your child happens to have moderate or severe disabilities and is normally in a self-contained classroom, they will still be in a self-contained virtual classroom. So they won't, they'll still have their PE option just like they did. That's a gen ed course, but it will be virtual. And they will still be with their cohort in the classroom. We are looking at potentially offering the ability for some students with moderate to severe disabilities coming onto campus at some point, but perhaps earlier than other students in order to address their needs. But at this point, that is not the case. So all students, including special ed, will continue to be virtual at this time.
Perfect. And if you have specific questions, again, please reach out. We will connect you directly to your case carrier, and we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. Thank you. All right, Mr. Arias, let's go back to the screen. Just real quick, parents, I wanted to share this with you. I've been getting a tremendous amount of emails that basically say, I love my kid. I didn't go to school to be a teacher, and I'm freaking out. First things first, I want to direct you to the right side, the last bullet. It says, remember, it is going to be okay. You need to be kind to yourself. We have designed our master schedule, our Bell schedule, to increase time with teachers for a reason. We feel this is the most valuable way for us to continue to prepare our students for the future. Remember, it is going to be okay. You have to be patient with yourself. You aren't supposed to have all the answers. I want to walk you through the other two bullets right there. The first one is, please communicate early and often. We are here to help. Sometimes when we're frustrated, we go to other places for information or to vent. And if that needs to happen, it's okay. But know that we are standing by to help. Please call and ask us the question. I prefer early. I prefer early because we can solve it together. If it's been there for a while and has gotten bad, I still want you to call. The last one is this. Please download the Canvas app. Parents, please jot this down or go there and get it now. Download the Canvas app. This is going to be a remarkably useful tool. We will walk you through what to do with that in the coming days, but please download the Canvas app. It's available on Tom, Android, and iPhone. I'm on fire with my tech stuff today. I got it. I got it. Parents, if you wanted the quick hit list of what you can do to make sure your student is successful, they are on the left-hand side of this slide, and there's 3 points. Parents, set the expectation now. Your student attends class every single day. If there is a reason they cannot attend, I want you to call the school and let us know like you would if they couldn't come to school in a traditional manner. We want students in class every day. Parents, encourage your students to participate. This increased distance has made it very easy to kind of tune out. Please encourage them to participate. If you know they're working and they've been quiet for a half hour, please go by and give them a loving nudge. We need them to be participating. The last one is this. I expect their cameras on. I want their cameras on. I want them interacting in real time with their teachers and with other students. Those are the 3 things I could say right now that I can guarantee will help support your students. All right, sir. Next slide. Oh, hold on. I got some good ones in the chat. Yes, question. Mrs. Anderson, how do parents access Canvas? Step 1, download the app. I promise we will be sending all of those details to you. A couple things have to take place on our side with rolling out their schedule before I can get you on, and we're really close on that one. So for now, if you download it, you are perfect. And then please download the parent version of that app. Mr. Berger, great response. I would love for you to continue that. Would you please click on the caret that allows us to respond to all panelists and the audience? That way they can see your response. Okay, Mr. Arias, let's go. Excellent. We will be covering this with every student on the first day of school. I will also send this home to all parents. This is something that we spent significant time developing. We called it our Zoom etiquette, but I also want to say this. This is the roadmap to being successful. If we can get our students through this, I am certain that we can make this work. It requires hard work, and it requires doing the following things: being on time, being appropriate, being present. And that means not simply being there, but being aware and participating, being prepared, and being respectful. We will walk through these in detail with the students, and you will get this as well. Just a quick jump back. If you are trying to do the Canvas app, it will not be up and ready until we send out student schedules. So please know you have done everything properly. Just wait for us to push out the student schedules and things will populate automatically from our side. David, please know that is the step. You've done everything right. Just hang in there. We'll be ready very soon. Mr. Arias. Parents, we will continue to make sure all of our students are fed, and not just the students from RBV. We will send these flyers out as well, but a student can pick up meals from any school that is close to their house that is serving them. Again, you will get these links, but it's really important to us that our students have access to food during this time. All right, so Mr. Patterson, prepare yourself for a quick sports update. But before we do that, one more time, parents and students, as you download this app, please know that the steps to log in are not active yet because we have not pushed out our student schedules. The moment we push those out formally, it will populate and we'll walk you through how you log in and how you will receive information on how to get into Canvas. And then one more quick question. Are you going to send out all information on call through your weekly up? Yeah. So we always push out information through the weekly Rancho roundups, as well as when there's critical information, I will do an all call. I rarely do all calls. I don't know if you've been in that place where you get a lot of calls from your school and it starts to become really easy to kind of not pay as close of attention. I speak from experience. Mrs. Clevenger and I have quite a few kids, so we get a lot of phone calls, mostly robocalls, sometimes when they're in trouble. But it's important that if I call, it's something that's important. So please listen. All right, Mr. Patterson, walk us through where we are with CIF sports. Let's start with what we know for sure that is concrete, and then we'll dive into some of the other details.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Mr. Clevenger. So we know that sports, we're planning on having all seasons and all sports. So it has been pushed back. The CIF recently released a master calendar, and all sports have been pushed to the second semester. So December 14th is the date that CIF has right now for the start. And in the spring, there's actually going to be 2 seasons. There'll be what's typically the fall season that will start first, season 1, with a couple of winter sports infused in there. And then there'll be a second season with mostly spring sports. So everything is still on the docket for participation for all of our athletes. So we're really excited about that. We're in discussions right now to see at what point we would be able to get students back on campus, but that's a work in progress right now. So we are moving forward, like sports are going to take place as they usually do, and I plan on that. There is information on the athletics page for RBV, and the athletic packets are on there as well, and that'd be a great thing to do in these couple months as we wait for the season to start, to get those downloaded, filled out, and into Coach Nellis, the athletic director, and you can scan and send those over to him. You can drop a packet off at the front office at the school as well. So we are preparing for a full sports season and really excited about it.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead and drop your questions about sports into the chat. I also want to expand this. When we say sports, it is specific to sports on this page, but we also are talking about extracurricular activities, including band, drama, pageantry, and other events like this. We know what a critical role these things play in our students' lives. We've all seen the impact it can have. We are going to make sure we communicate clearly the moment we are able to start these things. We will push out our schedule, our plan, and how we're going to keep people safe. Danielle has a great question. Mr. Patterson, will this affect dual sport players?
That's a great question. It may in some cases, but CIF and the North County Conference are working very hard to avoid those situations. Some of the details have changed and there's been some waivers on some of the typical rules. One example would be that students for just this CIF year will be able to play a CIF sport through the school and also play a club sport concurrently. So there are some shifts. That's a great question that we had. Ms. Armstrong, if you could email me directly, Damon Patterson at vistausd.org, I can answer that question for you tomorrow morning. And any sports questions, please contact me or Mr. Nellis, our athletic director.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. In that regard, regarding drama and band, we're in the exact same place as we are with our sports. We have world-class performing arts programs and top-tier athletics. We are going to continue to make these a priority for starting up as soon as it is deemed safe, and we have a plan in place to keep everybody safe. We still plan on offering all of these important things for our students. If it's important for our students, we do everything we can. So to any band parents out there, to any drama parents, or anyone else who has students in extracurricular activities, we are lining everything up that we can control to offer these as soon as possible. If there's specific questions, please shoot us an email. We will give you everything that we have. And then just one more time on the sports. We know that there are going to be an impact for some students who participate in multiple sports. We're basically going from 3 seasons to 2. CIF has acknowledged that this is going to change some things for students, but we do feel that it's so important that students are connected to things that they care about that we are willing to have some as opposed to all. Send us an email. We'll take care of it. All right, Mr. Arias. Health and safety plan. This is one that is absolutely going to become more and more critical as we start having the conversation of bringing classic students back onto campus. Remember, there's a series of things that have to take place before we can make this happen, but we are preparing now to have these things in place for the moment we can move forward. Mr. Patterson, just a quick overview of what we have in place and what we're continuing to build.
Okay, so we do have a lot of protocols in place. We recently finished our safety plan, which a lot of us are familiar with now, going to the grocery store or out and about, that we do need to social distance, wear masks, and we have certain guidelines that we follow. So we've created a school plan for the students to return. We are following all the county and health guidelines for that. Right now we are setting everything up for our October 20th date for 6 weeks. The schools to open back up, and basically safety is our #1 priority for our students and for our staff. So the team that we have a health and safety committee. We've been working closely with the district nurses, our site nurse, and other people across the school to ensure that we're looking at all angles, that we're following all the health and safety guidelines. And I do check those on a daily basis. So you can expect a student stepping onto the campus at RBV. We'll be going through our safety protocols, and we're going to do our best to mitigate any transmission of COVID-19 and follow those health and safety guidelines to a T.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. And parents, please know that we will make sure that this is shared with you frequently. If there's changes, we will push this out. There are some things that we can control, and then there are some things we cannot. I do want to make sure it's clear. We will still have full classrooms. We have the same number of students. We may have less students on campus, but we also have the same number of teachers. So if you look at the total numbers, we will still have full classrooms. And so there are some things we can do to mitigate transmission. We will have very clear things in place as far as expectations. We are going to add things like hand washing stations throughout the campus. Each classroom will either have hand sanitizer available for all students or a place to wash their hands inside the classroom, but we will still have full classrooms. Please stay tuned for additional information about that. And another great resource here, I will make sure we send this out we'll drop this in the chat as well at the end of this presentation link, as well as the most recent community update from our superintendent. Really good information in there. I would encourage you to read those as they come out as well. So I've got some more sports questions, so we'll get to those in a moment. Specific questions about safety. Please drop those in chat if you have them. Okay, please know we will continue to communicate that. We know we have 6 weeks, and we are going to use that time to continue to make good choices for keeping our students and our staff safe. One of the things we have in place, great question. Erica wants to know, how often will the school or classroom be disinfected? We are absolutely on this. We have a schedule where we have common surfaces or areas and restrooms being cleaned on a regular hour schedule. Each hour we have a strong rotation in place. Right now that's real simple because we have just a handful of people on campus. We have a very, very small number. The other thing we do is we closely monitor who's on campus and what classrooms are used. Those are cleaned and wiped down and disinfected every single night. So we do have those. Question from Mr. Clark. When I say full classes, will it be 25 plus students in each class? It is very likely, sir. Yes. We have full classrooms. We run our master schedule to be efficient, and that means oftentimes putting 32 to 34, sometimes 35 to 36 kids in a classroom. And this is where I want to refer you back to our superintendent's last community update. We do have options in place right now to communicate how we're going to deal with students and parents who are uncomfortable with that. We will be communicating when we have, I'll tell you what, there are some specific COVID questions here that are really good questions. I am going to send you the document that has each step laid out as we become aware of what's taking place and what we're going to be doing as a school to take care of that. Good. Are students going to be rotating classrooms? Yes. And the lower levels, such as elementary school, it is possible to keep students in one classroom all day. All 9th graders and all 10th graders and all 11th graders, they don't take the same classes. So they will still need to change classes and go to different class periods. We also have different ways that we assign teachers. When you get to high school, teachers are specialists to a certain degree. They have a credential which authorizes them to teach specific content such as English or social studies or PE. We don't have what we call multiple subject credentials where one teacher teaches all their classes or many of their classes. So we do plan on moving classrooms. And Adriana has a great question. How can they practice social distance with a full classroom? And that's where we come back to this point of there are things we can control and things we cannot. We will be requiring masks. We will do what we can to have proper filtration for air and open windows and doors, but there will still be full classrooms. All right. We're getting more sports questions. If you have specific sports questions, because many of them are very specific to individual students, please email those over to Mr. Patterson. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Arias, let's go ahead and jump to the next one. Okay, student schedules. And I see some more are coming in. Parents, we will stay on and we will answer these specific ones. I want to try to get through this the next couple of minutes, but I will stay on and we will answer these questions. Student schedules. Parents, my original plan was to have our master schedule done on Monday. Typically, when we build a master schedule, which is where we line up all of the students with their teachers, It's a pretty lengthy process, and we build one master schedule for all our students. This year was unique. Parents had until the middle of last month to select their learning model, and then we had the challenge of building 2 master schedules. Now, Mrs. Aguirre Simpson is an absolute rock star. She has been doing amazing work, as have our counselors, in building this. This has become, getting students all the classes that they need and want has become a challenge. And we are still working to finalize about the last 100 to 125, 150. Mrs. Aguirre Simpson, is that about right? About 150 students where we still need to make 1 or 2 tweaks. We will not be pushing this out last Monday as I had hoped. And I also communicated that we were going to try to push things out today. Parents, we are close, but I need to make sure this is clear. I know there is anxiousness. I want to make sure we push out a complete and solid product that is going to prevent additional stress. So please know, I know how eager we all are. We are close. The moment we have this ready, I will push it out to you and your students, and you'll be able to see it online. So please know the student schedules are coming very soon. Questions about student schedules? Christine, some great questions. Questions about IB candidates. We'll be working with our IB coordinator, that's Melissa Newman, to make sure that we still take care of all of the criteria for graduating with a full IB diploma. I will have her reach out specifically with that to our seniors and community service for seniors. Mrs. Gary Simpson, do you have an inside scoop on what we're doing there?
The community participation that the seniors are going to do will be a bit different. There will still be opportunities via social media and, of course, going to a Zoom meeting at the city council or the school board. So that will continue. It will have a different look, but definitely will reach out for community participation. The community service may take a bit of a back seat this year, since we don't want our students out there in the community, and we do want them to be safe, which is most important.
Thank you, Mrs. Gary Simpson. There are a couple of questions about how students will see their schedules. When they are complete, they will be rolled out through both the student portal and the parent portal in Aries. There have been a couple of glitches as we're navigating this 2 master schedule reality. We've had a couple of times where students were able to look into their portals, or parents were, and unfortunately what they saw were something called course requests. We will absolutely make sure that 1, students know that that was not an accurate schedule, and 2, when it is ready, we will push it out and you will be able to see it on Aries through both the student and parent portals. There have been a couple more questions about COVID-19 related questions. I'm going to get to those and also send you the detailed write-up of what our protocol is. So you will know exactly what our procedures will be, our communication will be, and everything that goes along with that. Mr. Ayers, let's jump to the last slide that we have. Parents and students, as you know, as you came through Longhorn Days, we did not distribute books. And again, this was tied to not having the master schedule completed. We didn't want to send students home with books that they weren't going to use or need. And so this is our plan. We will be distributing books after school the first about week and change of school, the first 5 or 6 days, looks like 7, the first 7 days after school. After school, between, just real quick up there, we have it listed as 3 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. That's just a little bit off. It'll be 3 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. You early birds are in luck. We'll be doing it right after school. And we have a solid amount of time. We also have it broken down by alpha and grade levels. For those of you who got to see our Longhorn Days, we have a very clear system in place to keep our students socially distanced and safe. We'll be following the exact same route, coming in through the fire lane, which is where you started the process the last time we did this, and ending at the library. Please know that the flyer that is attached here and is also in your Rancho Roundup has all those details, and I'll be pushing out additional details so you are ready. So if you have the following, please go ahead and look up there. September 8 and 9, we are starting with our AP and IB courses. This is because we have to get these classes started sooner than later. If you take an AP or IB class, you will be picking up all of your books, not just those courses, okay? That is for all 4 grade levels. So please pay attention to the flyer. It will be real easy. For September 10 and 11, we will have our 9th grade and our 12th grade students. That's spread over 2 days. And again, based off of your last name is what time you arrive. On Monday the 14th and Tuesday the 15th, 10th and 11th grade will be here. And then on the 16th, we will be here for makeup days. If for some reason you can't get there during your allotted time, please call our school. We are ready to take care of you. We will find a time where we can get you in there and get those books to you. Please know that all teachers are aware that books are not going to be distributed until the 16th, and that is not going to impact your student. We do not have plans to start using books until after the 16th.
Principal Clevenger, I just wanted to also send one little reminder. Don't forget to bring a backpack, students. When you come to pick up those books, it's going to be a big stack of books, so it's important that you bring a backpack to put them in so that the carry to the car isn't so difficult.
Absolutely, absolutely. And on that note, if you need a Chromebook, first of all, come to school tomorrow. Come to school tomorrow. Just come in between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. Just come to the school. We need every student to have a Chromebook. We will also be able to get students Chromebooks during these days. The problem is school starts the 8th, and if students don't have a Chromebook, it's very hard to log in online to do classes. So if you need a Chromebook, please come by or call the school, and we will get that to you immediately. And there's no need to wait for the textbook distribution to get that. A question: if a parent can come but the student cannot, is that unacceptable, Ms. Correo?
Yeah, I just answered there. You can. A parent, if a parent is going to be coming, they just need to bring their student's ID card with them. They'll be going through the route. They'll pick up their child's paper copy of their schedule. They'll make their way around and pick up the books for their student, but they will need the student's ID card in order to have them checked out under their name.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. A question in the chat is if they have their own personal laptop, can they use that? The answer is absolutely. Mrs. King, we prefer that every student have a dedicated device for them. We want our students to have access during the school day and not have to compete with things like siblings. So we are ready and we have sufficient Chromebooks to push out one so every student can have one. But if they have their own, that is not a problem. We're happy for them to use what they're comfortable with, but we do have Chromebooks available. Are there any questions about the textbook distribution? As always, please know, if you need anything, if you have a situation or a schedule that will not allow you to come during these times, simply send us an email or call the school. If you are there, if you are a new student and you transferred and you don't have an ID yet, that is not a problem. Just come on in at your scheduled time. We'll get you a copy of your schedule, a paper copy, so you know exactly what books to get. We'll take good care of you. And yes, great question about student ID cards. As we know, the picture that they take for their ID card in the yearbook is probably the most important part of the year. We will have scheduled picture makeups that do take place. We will spread out students so as they come, they're safe. We will have these, and we will be starting this in, I'd say, the next couple of weeks. So do not worry. We will make sure that they have their picture for their ID card and the yearbook. Great question from Cynthia. Will there be classroom sets of books for Classic? We are still working on this one. In the past, the answer has been yes. Obviously, with our new safety protocols, we're not looking to have books shared each and every day. We've got some, I think, really good creative solutions that we're working on. I will communicate those out as soon as I'm able to deliver the details. Okay, parents, this is the best part of the program. One, I want to thank all our panelists. The work you have done has been incredible. Thank you for your dedication to our students and our families. Each of you have gone so far and beyond and above what is required. I want to personally thank you. And I am certain that if you look in the chat, there's a lot of thank yous coming right now as well. Thank you for your dedication in building our plan to start this school year. And parents, I also want you to know that we are going to stay on, and I'm going to be answering questions until we're totally satisfied and good. Parents, thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your support. Mr. Arias, thank you for running the tech side of this. Let's go ahead and pause on recording. And if you guys need to take off, panelists, feel free to go.